So, first of all, the end is always visible at the beginning. It took me a long time to understand that. The end is always visible at the beginning, right? When in any relationship that forms, the end is always visible at the beginning. That which is not dealt with quickly will cause inevitable divergences later on. So that's why I say it now, get it out of the way, and then no one can come back to you later and say you didn't say anything. Just even if it hurts people now,
Yeah.
I'm not for hurting people. I'm just saying, just get it out. Just be honest about what it is that you think, what it is that you feel, and then you know where you stand, basically. So there's that. So thinking that thinking that things are going to change is always a giant mistake. Right? It's like, well, this
Yeah.
is okay for now. Yet there's sort of,
But you expect something different in later.
yeah, it's that giant problem with, everybody makes the New Year's resolution. It's like it's not important what you do at some future point. It's only important what you do now.
No.
A New Year's resolution is just another way to say I'm going to procrastinate even more. It's just a socially acceptable way to do that, because there's no other time than now. If you're not doing it now, then yes, it may make plans, and yes, get it in order, and it takes time for things to happen. I know all that, but the only important thing is now. We could all fucking die tomorrow, right? So I mean, now is the only thing that matters, really. So it's good to have plans, but don't be upset when the plans don't happen, because that's then and this is now, right? If not now, then when, right? So that's why now is really important. Then you never marry a person.
It's a recommendation.
You always marry a family.
Right.
You don't marry a person. You marry their family. And if you look at it historically, it's kind of understandable, right? Look at the rich, successful, powerful families. They always integrate, and they always intermarry.
Yeah.
For the very specific reason that you don't marry a person, you marry a family, because you marry their network. That's what you're marrying into. And it's, so I fell in love with him. It's like, well, have you looked at the grandparents, right? I mean, that's where you're going. So, yes, but he's different from the rest of them. No, because he's learned to accept and put up with the rest of their bad habits, right? So you never analyze the person you marry. Analyze the person around the person that you marry, because that's going to be the average of the development of your relationship. And so thinking that you can separate a person from the family is a mistake, because that's just manipulation. And when you start to get involved with manipulation, it's like plastic surgery. It never stops. It's like getting a tattoo. One is never enough. People end up with like 15 in various odd places in their body, right? So people think that they've got this idea that the marriage relationship is like two people come together. It's not. It's two families that come together, and all of their differences and all of their problems and all of their issues, and on the other side, all of their networks and all of the good things and all their knowledge and everything they can help with as well, and all of these things that need to be dealt with. And when two people get married, it's until death us do part. That's a pretty powerful promise to make, and it's a pretty powerful promise to break as well, because it's not until one of us dies.
Yeah.
It's what you're saying is, if something horrible happens, heaven help us, and you die, right? I'm not going to go out looking for someone or something else. This is it,
And
right?
you are not married, right?
I'm not married. No.
And why? Personal questions, I'm sorry. But I'm curious.
It's a great question.
Why not three children? Your partner sounds really great, and you love her, so
Yeah,
why
that's. We'll talk about love another day. Um, stability. Marriage is better for children because it creates a more stable framework for the children to grow up in. And both myself and my partner's life in terms of work and finance has been unstable for the last 9 years, maybe 8 or 9 years. And we're still trying to find a stable balance for things. And I don't think that getting married is going to solve that problem, which I want to solve first. I want to provide a more stable economic situation for my family before I take that step. And that things are better than they were before, but I'm still not satisfied with that level. I've also said to my partner, you organize it, because it's not high on my list of priorities, personally, and so I'm not going to do it, because I'm honest, it's not high on my list of priorities. I'm not going to do it. But if you want to do it, I'll go along with it. And she hasn't done it, and it's not a priority for me, so it's obviously not a priority for her because she hasn't done it. Let's face it, right? We do what is important for us. Right?
But what if something bad happened to you or her? Do you have all these arrangements set?
No.
Yeah.
Yes. Am I afraid of it? I'm not afraid of it at the moment, but I know that it's a very important problem to solve. So life gives us lots of different problems to solve, and for the last 3 years I have been solving other problems, and so my most important focus is to develop my work online and develop my business online, and that is part of an engine in what we do. Getting married has not been any particular thing that's been important, partly because I have very little contact with my family of origin, where I came from. And she has very little contact with her family of origin, where she came from. And so we have to understand there's not that a lot of the marriage comes from the families coming together. And these families are not going to come together. These families are broken, okay? So so there's no...
Both of us?
On both sides, yeah. On both sides. So there's no...
Do you think that it's...
There's no help for us.
factor?
Let's look at it this way. There's no help for us, right? Everything we do is just me and my partner. There's no help from anybody else. So it's helpful when you can leave your kids with your grandparents,
Yes,
or
of course.
your aunt or uncle can come round and visit and look after the children for a while. So, and we've never had that. So there's no, and that gives you a little bit of space to do other things. We don't have that space at all. So it's never been a priority in our relationship to do that.
Do you have a lot of friends?
Yeah. What's a lot?
Both of you.
What's a lot? I don't know. Is that good to have a lot of friends?
Good.
Here in Bystrica, maybe 2 families. I have a lot of friends who are not here, so it's practical in that sense. So there are a lot of people who situations have occurred where we've left children with people and gone, that's not really a good idea, but we don't really have a choice. And now I'd rather not do that. My opinion is that if there's something in the back of my head tells me it's not a good idea, then I should just not do it. Yeah. So I should listen to that voice that's telling me what's good and what's not. So.
Oh, sad topic.
It's not. It's a very interesting. It's a very practical topic, right? Because all these things are practical things that are really important to think about. Yeah.
You're absolutely like my brother. Absolutely. I have a brother. I said before he's in London, and you are so similar to him. So similar.
Oh, tell me why. It's a very good point that if you don't come from a stable background, you have to build your own stability.
Yeah.
And what do you have to build your stability on? That family is such an important network.
Yeah.
It's it's where a lot of people get a lot of what's good in their life from.
Yeah.
Through connections, contacts, information, learning things, even things that we don't want to learn, that we need to learn.
Yeah.
Right. So through all of these elements. So if you've got a good, strong family network that's supporting you, I think you can relax a little bit more. Not completely and totally, but you can relax a little bit.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to worry about certain things. Now, I don't have that experience.
Yeah.
And I didn't have that experience like 10 years ago. Yeah. So it's being reflective over the last 10 years and looking at things in more detail and understanding why they are the way that they are. You have to have something to hold on to. That's why, a lot of people turn to religion, right?
You turn to research, and I like it.
It's you made a good point. It's really important to have some foundation or safety net for yourself. So, some people join churches, as I said. The church community provides
or some other community, or not only church but friends or something like that.
Yeah, friends or a hobby or interest group or sports or whatever it is that interests people, or maybe some people, I don't know, play music or go out to clubs, or I don't know, whatever's interesting for people. So you need some kind of network there. Yeah, it's one of those rules. Life's a team sport. You can't play it alone. You can't get through it alone, and you don't want to, because it's just boring, right? So you've got to interact. You've got to connect. You've got to get feedback, because feedback is course correction. Yeah, the information that you get from other people helps you to know whether or not you're going in the right direction. It helps you see things more clearly, and at least it helps you see how other people see things as well, which is important for someone like me. If you're trying to build a business, right? It's important to see how other people see the business, or to see if other people see the business, for example. All of those things are important and make a big difference. And so I don't know if that answers the question, or if there's even a question there, but everybody has to have something to hold on to. And I'm still in a sort of transient phase where there are a lot of things that I want to change in my life, and it takes time to
Hmm.
to realize those things, especially when you know that you can only act now and what's in the future is questionable, and you've got to make the right choices and right decisions. Everything depends on time, place, and people, and the integration of those things together. And there should be, I think, in everybody's life, an element of flow. You shouldn't always feel like you're like, oh, it's really hard to make the next, really hard, and really, you shouldn't be going through life. Like, if you're doing that, then I'm not sure that you're going to get anywhere where you want to get. There's got to be something which is natural. You've got to make things happen for yourself. You've got to go out and do things and make connections, but at the same time, a lot of things have to happen naturally as well. And so that's why I don't think that in 2019 I will be in Slovakia.
Do you
Because
think that?
no,
Why?
because of what I want to do with my business, I don't think I can do it here. We were talking about it yesterday, that I want to I want to change I want to change everything, and so that requires being in a different place. I originally moved here from London, and
Yeah.
when I left London because I was starting to feel like I don't have a vision of the future. I can't see where it's going. And that's not good.
Mhm.
I couldn't analyze it at the time. I was just like, this is not right. I've got to do something different. I've got to change something.
Mhm.
So yeah, my girlfriend at the time was like, "What? You're leaving?" Yep. And this was interesting because, I said, "I'm going. You can come with me if you want." She said, "No, I'm staying." Okay. That's okay because we both know exactly where we stand. That's okay. I have to go. You have to stay. That's it. And that's interesting because we make, and this is from my experience, we make a lot of our decisions based upon what the people around about us think or feel is the right thing, rather than what we think or feel is the right thing. Especially for empathetic people, we're concerned about the people around about us and what they think and how they feel, and if they're okay and they're comfortable, and so we naturally sacrifice a bit of ourselves and maybe a bit of our own happiness for their benefit. But the real test is when you have to make a big change in your life. When you're honest and you say, okay, I can't see a future for myself here. I can't develop my business here. I need a different environment. I need to think more clearly. I'm looking around myself and not seeing any good examples of how I want to live my life, and I'm looking around myself at the people going, this network, this community, no. I don't want to be here in 10 years doing the same thing I'm doing right now. I don't want to be doing that. It's necessary to break a few eggs. It's necessary to take a few risks. I'm not saying risk everything. I'm just saying that there's no gain or advantage in life unless you are doing what you know, which is different from what you feel, what you know to be the right thing to do. So that's my feeling here. Is I look at the future, I look around myself, and I'm thinking, there's a block, there's a wall, I can't see beyond it. And the only way to get beyond the wall is to be somewhere else. To have another vision, which is a great risk, because you roll the dice. You can win or lose. You can win everything or you can lose everything.